Hey, what's going on, bambinos? I hope you guys are growing big and tall today. I just wanted to make this video really quick. I wanted to talk
Wait a
about the
minute.
female dancers. So I know you see in like a lot of my games, or I guess like my videos that I have made before, I've always talked about the female dancer. I've always compared it to like a meme or something silly. The reason why I think she's just a really strong character, and a lot of people might disagree. And obviously, we had the Asian tournament came up very recently, and she wasn't picked or banned as much as people might have thought, and that's totally fine. And just because something wasn't picked inside of a tournament or something like that doesn't mean a character is weak. I feel like a lot of people use those tournaments specifically to choose why they should pick a particular character, and I think that's a big disagreement there. Like, yes, that's a great place to go to and see what is strong, as in
Bruh.
who a large amount of people pick. But that being said, there's still so many other variables that are just not being accounted for, i.e., why someone's picked or why their kit has been strong. So you think about meta, the way it is set up now is because people follow what everyone else does. However, how do you think new meta gets discovered? Is using using your old head a little bit and looking for stuff. So I basically want to bring a video to you. This actually has nothing to do with what I just said. It's actually starting a new series. I'm basically going to go through and talk about different particular survivors. I'm going to go through all of them eventually, as I move through it. Hopefully you guys will like this, but I'm just going to go through it, talk about their strengths and weaknesses, and see if I can't make I'll pick what personas that I would pick on that character and how I would use it to try and better them, and just kind of give you like the top to bottom overview on them. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. Okay. All right, so we have the female dancer here, and as she knows the difficulties, they actually added this nice little new kit recently, or not kit, but like a little, like, I guess like a display. It kind of tells you what they are, what they think that they are, and her difficulty level is set where it's set at. But so we have the female dancer. As you know, she's fantastic at kiting. It says she's a helper, mainly because it says that she helps. With her movement box, she can speed up and slow down, which I guess could be an assist tool, but I personally would never ever use, or at least I try not to use the speed up variant of it because I think it's just least effective, only in the few scenarios being that it can slow down your algorithm. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's go ahead and look into her abilities here. So we have the female dancer. Her ability is duet, and basically she has a music box that she can place down. She actually has two variants of it. She has one that can increase the movement speed of people who are inside of it, including your allies and stuff like that. Then she also has one that can slow down, which slows down the killer. It doesn't slow herself down. However, it will slow down your allies, so you have to be careful when using that. However, I think that is easily the most effective one to use because it gives you way more opportunity to do things, or run the killer, kite the killer, whatever you want to call it. It gives you that opportunity to do so. She has her second trait is called Dancer. She's not affected by her slowing music, like said earlier. I'm not quite sure why they added it here. I feel like they could have just put that in to do it. I feel like it's kind of a waste of a slot, but you know what? She has it. Awesome. So she can't be slowed down by her own music, and then she has acrobatics. So if she ever jumps from like a high surface and lands on the ground, i.e., think of like big boat, think of little boat, even think about jumping off the top of what's that map called? Why can't I remember it? Basically, the factory. Lots of places she can jump and fall from. If she does, she'll get 30% increased movement speed for 3 seconds, and it has a 40-second cooldown. So think of like all the other exhaustion abilities in the skill tree. This is kind of just like a bonus one. So first and foremost, acrobatics is a phenomenal ability. So basically, it's very similar to Dead by Daylight in the fact that you can get balanced landing, which is just almost the exact same wording. I think it's 40% actually instead, but 30% in this one. So she has balanced landing, which I'll admit in in Identity V, there's not as many places you can fall from compared to Dead by Daylight. So there's not as many high spots, but that could change with new maps coming out and such. There's still there's still options. And it's nice to have it just because it kind of lets you set up where you feel safe at when you're running on the map. So basically, a lot of strategies with her. Like I said, I try and steer away from using the red box, which is the speed up box, just because speeding up is useful. Yes, it can make you do gens faster, and it makes you a little bit faster than the killer. Or not faster than the killer, but makes you the same speed as the killer. However, that's It's literally it. Comparatively to the slow just has so many more applicals because the slow makes you faster than the killer automatically. Because the slow, it kind of just like almost cancels you guys out. He will not, like, let's say he's running in your slow. The only thing that he's going to hit you with is if he has a lunge that has the distance. But other than that, he's not going to catch you. So at least not with a quick swing. It just won't happen. But that being said, you can slow down your allies. That's the downside. But even when they break, like let's say a killer breaks the box, it actually slows the killer during that process. So it takes them ages to break the box comparatively to, maybe if it was the red box, the killer would smash it in normal time. It's not that big of a deal. So it's kind of a win-win when you place down the slow box because the killer is going to want to kill it because it's going to be annoying them while you're looping around maybe a loop or something. And they're going to want to break it. And during the time that they're breaking it, they're still slowed. So it takes forever. This also applies to if you drop a pallet and it's inside the slow box and it stuns them, the stun will be a bunch longer because it has to go through that animation and it takes longer. Let's say other things like vaulting windows will be slowed down. So if you have the box down, let's say you jump through a window and the killer follows you through the window, which they shouldn't, but if they did, then they're going to be slow coming through that window, extra slow, which is really, really great. It's nice. I haven't actually tested if like free falling is slowed down inside of it. Like let's say you had it placed up on top of something and then they jumped off, like the killer jumped off the edge, if they would be slower on the descent or not. That's something that would actually be really fun to test. I'm going to test that and I'll put an answer down in the description answering that. But that's a pretty fun one. So overall, I think she's just got a great kit. She has so many different directions. Her skill cap is insane. So given to a good character, or giving to a good player, the dancer could be phenomenal. Even given to an average player, the dancer is good, which I think is really important. So we're going to go ahead and move on to her persona tree. It didn't let me do female dancer, so I had to put female Dan. So we got Dan here. Obviously, I don't own this person, but I've played her a lot, and I have friends that play her a lot. So basically, how I would build her in personally is I'm going to give her all of the exhaustion perks. And what do I mean by exhaustion perks? Exhaustion perks, I mean like, knee-jerk reflex, where you're going to vault, pallets, you're going to get that movement speed. If you vault windows, you're going to get that movement speed. And then lastly, over here, borrowed time, whenever you get full health, or whenever the last cipher's finished, you get a bunch of movement speed. The reason why I run these is because this gives her so many options. She almost any action she does outside of normal running, she gets a bonus to movement speed whenever you run this build. Let's say you jump over a pallet, you're getting movement speed. You jump into a window, you're getting movement speed. The last gen pops, you're getting movement speed. You fall off from a tall height, you're getting movement speed. You got a music box down, you're getting movement speed. I think that is absolutely phenomenal. So these three perks here would be a must when I'm running her, just me personally, because it just helps me run a lot longer. And then last but not least, also in importance, I think that these two are definitely honorable mentions. I think Airwalk and I guess Sticker is a great one. Airwalk I think is incredibly underrated. So I even run it on my Explorer too. But Airwalk basically makes your trail disappear sooner, which is like, okay, that kind of seems very mundane and pointless. However, if you're getting all these movement speed boosting effects, that means the gap between you and the killer is going to get bigger. That being said, you want your trail to disappear faster. So if your trail disappears faster, you lose the killer, because as soon as the killer loses like line of sight from you, then that becomes an issue, because now he has to rely on that trail to find you. If that trail is no longer there, how's he going to find you? Unless he blindly, which if he blind walks and runs into you, that's, you can't really do much about that. But it gives you a chance to stop running, crouch, be immersive, and hide. So I definitely think Airwalk is honestly one of the better perks on this tree. And this one, without a doubt, is really, really good. And when you're on the ground, you move faster and you heal faster when you're incapacitated. It's super helpful for getting back up. And the crawl speed can be useful, even useful from getting in a particular spot where you can't get put onto a chair because you kind of moved in a particular area where it's going to make you wiggle out, or even let's say the hatch is open and it's like right next to you and they're busy killing another player, you can kind of crawl over there and jump in the hatch or something. Those are very situational spots, but I really mainly like the healing speed so people can pick you up a lot faster. It's good for those clutch, let's say someone's looping the killer and then you're healing yourself and you're like max heal, and then they come over and like one tap you to pick you back up. It's really useful for that. Obviously, I'm going to go for Exit Path. Exit Path is a great pick, just because with Exit Path, you're going to go ahead and, get yourself off the ground. That could be used in so many scenarios. Normally, I mean, a lot of times you'll get hooked anyways, but the time that you do use this, you can make the most of it, especially with the dancer, because the second you're up on your feet, anytime the dancer is on her feet, she becomes an issue. So like, think of it this way, like, she's probably one of the better like runners outside of just like without having to need her ability. Her flat, like her passives that she gets, makes her a really, really strong runner. So, or kiter, I guess. So that exit path, the second you get on your feet, you become an issue for the killer. So you can kite while your other teams do what they need to do. I.e., like the video I had in the beginning of this is I ran that killer, which wasn't crazy, but I ran that killer until we had one gen left. So like at that point, he got me on the chair, which is great, but now he only has one gen left. So he wasted all that time on me, and we basically won that game. So it's definitely really, really important that if you can kite, you can win a game. Of course, and anybody can kite. No one person is like, I've kited with stupid people before. I've kited with Mind's Eye before, like, and she's awful at vaulting things. She like does her taxes while she's mid vault. It's stupid. So like, anybody can run, but I'm just saying this person has the edge at running. That's basically how I would run her. Those perks are what I would pick with her. If there's any tidbits and trades, basically that's how I would kind of like, go with, or at least approach her. But anyways, that's kind of like my viewpoints on the female dancer and what I would do with her. And any questions, please go ahead and leave it in the comments. I would love to know what you guys want to know, any type of thing. If you want me to do it, suggest me new people to do next. I'll do whoever you'd like me to see to do next. I'll even do killers at some point too, but I kind of want to get better at killer, because if you didn't see my very, very sad mental math, it's not that I'm bad at killers, I just haven't really jumped into them yet. I'll be really, really honest, but my personas for killers is quite sad. Anywho, go ahead and hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Even hit the bell button to keep up with what I'm doing. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of your hair. You guys have, as always, a wonderful evening. Bye. Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.